than 5,000 square feet of beautifully renovated space.
With 6+2 spacious ensuite bedrooms on 3 levels.
Near daily conveniences like MRT, bus stops, food centres and park.
These are just some of the 99 reasons that will even attract freehold house seekers.
Stay tuned to find out more in this episode of Huttons Landed Division's Live Open House. Hi everyone, welcome back. If you've been following us, you know this is our signature video series, Live Open House, airing on the first Saturday of every month. And of which you know, in 1 year, we only have 12 houses, right? And that's featuring 12 of the most beautiful and charming houses on sale.
Yes, indeed, many of which have drawn not only our loyal followers, but also the eventual buyers. So
That's
in
right.
fact, in the last episode, we actually featured a pair of semi-detached at Goodman Road, one of which has been sold just days after the episode has been aired.
That's right. So you can imagine a lot of my teammates are fighting for this slot to be featured, right? So we have now beside me our District 19 team really lobbying very hard. But before they did that, you can really see from the back, right? This is a very majestic 2.5-story semi-D, occupying almost 3,800 square feet of land with an impressive more than 5,000 square feet of built-out space with 6+2 ensuite bedrooms, pool, jacuzzi, etc. All right, but besides that, I think they tried really hard and came up with a list of 99 qualities or reasons why they call this the 99 wonders of Serangoon Gardens.
Yeah, so in fact, besides in-depth house tour, we will also be highlighting some of the insights from our most recent Q2 landed market analysis to explain why we have chosen this beautiful 99 leasehold in Serangoon Gardens to be featured in today's episode.
Firstly, there are not many 3,500 to 4,000 square feet large semi-Ds in Serangoon Garden. Most of them is between 2,500 to 3,000 square feet or even smaller.
Secondly, prices of 99-year landed properties have surpassed 2023's peak by 11.8% and reached record high of 1,559 PSF. Year to date, 2024. The price that we're asking for this gorgeous house is under 1,200 PSF. Comparing to this 1,559 PSF, this gives a really superior value.
That's right.
Last but not least, compared to many freehold and 999-year leasehold, 2.5-story semi-Ds in Serangoon Gardens, most of which have transacted above the 2,000 PSF mark, there's actually a very wide substantial gap. So it's actually substantial enough to entice the many freehold and 999-year leasehold house seekers.
I hope you are now convinced just based on price alone, today's house is really offering value for money. But besides that, right, let's now take a look at the rest of the 99 reasons why this beautiful, majestic house is being featured. Right? Let's now take a look at this 2.5-story semi-D at Serangoon Gardens. Let's take a look. Okay, so now let's take a closer look at the exterior of the house. Just now you probably just saw the front, and now as the camera comes to the side, you can start to see how majestic and how grand it is, right? Correct?
I think very impressive facade.
Yeah, compared to many houses, actually, even the freeholds and the 999s, you rarely see a semi-D that occupies almost 3,800 square feet of space. And the size is evident from here because we have the frontage of slightly more than 10 meters and the length by the side almost more than 31 meters, right, on the side. So you can see the building now. Recently renovated by the current owner. They have pre-painted this, and you see two little annex at the back. Okay, so very majestic from this side.
Very,
yeah.
So basically, it's a corner semi-D. Yeah. So itself actually has a sidewalk.
Yeah, having semi-D is really tough, right? But having a corner one, I think is very unusual. And
Very
this
rare.
one actually even have a separator. You see a path here. A lot of semi-Ds are actually just close to each other. Like you can see if these walls are close. But this actually gives you a lot more advantages, am I right?
Yes, correct. So a few advantages to share. For example, it will be more well lit in the day. Yeah, so you actually see a lot of natural light shining into the house later, which we will show you.
Yeah, and also the distance, I think the privacy is quite good, which is again evident later, but really now you can see that these two neighbors are much further apart. Right? We're talking almost about 6 meters apart.
So each gets its own space.
It's almost like you can slot in a inter-terrace here, so to speak. You know, that gives, I think, these two, not just of course us and also the owner here, I think a lot of advantages. These are some advantages we always say when you sell or buy a house. Advantages that money cannot buy, right? You cannot just renovate it, right?
Correct.
Now you can also see this majestic wall towards the end.
So if you are concerned about privacy, not to worry in this instance, because later on we will show you how the current owner actually, box
create
up
a
the
privacy
fence.
screen in
Yes,
a sense,
correct,
yeah,
to
actually
sort
to
of
show.
tackle this issue, but yet still enable you to have this space.
Correct. Our viewers must be now wondering, right, what is at the back of this lane, all right? This is a very important lane, I think, for a lot of the residents in this estate because this creates a shortcut. Where does it go? Later we'll show you.
Yeah.
Before we go there, let's take a closer look basically at, I think, the immediate environment here. You notice here now, all right, this road is very wide. It's not just in front, if you can just scan around. Right, our left, right side, and also in front, all these are dotted lines, which means
you can park on both sides of the road.
That's right. Yeah, there's a lot of parking space. Usually, when we do our filming here, we always run out of parking space. But today, we have a lot of space.
Correct.
We have a lot of space. As you can still see, there's if you want to host, or even your family has many cars, for example. I think this is very convenient. And at the end of this road, if you start to turn around, all right, this is where waiting was just now. You're talking about mere probably 2 minutes. This is the Serangoon Gardens Park, right? Park and playground. If you have pets or you just want to take a leisurely stroll, I think this is one very nice park for you to walk to.
One of the features that Serangoon Garden residents love, be it to walk the pets or for elderlies to have a stroll, evening stroll. It's a very nice place to have greenery. And
what is after the park though, waiting?
What is after the park is the most important thing.
Very famous here. Even for us non-residents, we come here to eat, right? The very famous Serangoon Gardens market. So that is not just for eating, it's also a wet market. Right?
Wet market as well. So one wet market and then basically the food eateries.
Yes.
Not only that, not just the hawker center and chom chom, but you also get the restaurants and also
supermarkets. There are actually 4 supermarkets nearby, right? 4 supermarkets nearby. Of course, you have those at the My Village. You have nearby at the Serangoon Central, Fair Price. There's a Giant, etc.
All within 1 kilometer away.
So all this, frankly, if you stay here, whether it's for yourself or for your helper, I think doing your daily grocery shopping will be very, very convenient, so to speak. Right? So right now, we talk also, don't forget, on this side, if you turn around, you notice where the car is. What is important here, this location, this specific part, we keep saying Serangoon Gardens, but the good thing is, we know sometimes Serangoon Gardens can be a bit congested. Correct? So it's quite an open secret.
We don't have that issue here because actually we are near to Serangoon Gardens, near to the amenities, but we are actually at the heart of Lorong Chuan itself. So we are slightly away from the
near enough, but we don't have to drive past there.
Correct.
In fact, within Lorong Chuan, if you look at the map, we are now in the middle of Lorong Chuan, which means accessibility, if you really want to go to basically to the Ang Mo Kio Avenue one side, you want to go to Yio Chu Kang area, it's a lot more convenient. And along Lorong Chuan, we have a lot of amenities also, right?
We have, yes. So basically down to this road itself here. Okay. So along this road as well as the other main road there, we have all together 8 bus stops.
Right? 8 bus stops. Okay, 8 bus stops. And what's important for drivers, or if you want 24/7 daily convenience, is there's just not 1, not 2, but 3 petrol kiosks. There's Shell, there is Caltex, there's also Esso as well. All right.
So this petrol kiosk sometimes it's not just for pumping petrol, but let's say if you really run out of eggs while cooking, it's just nearby.
You can just walk up. Really, really convenient. Really convenient. So now, just now we talk about this lane, correct? So let's take a look. What is at the end of this lane? Why is this so important and so convenient? I think also for the owners. I think this is one thing that they are going to miss. I think the most. I think for the owners to have this kind of convenience.
I'm sure. Yes.
So towards the end here. So of course, as we walk past here, you start to take a much closer look at the house already. This is the privacy screen that Wei Ting mentioned earlier. So you notice as we walk here, the house gets higher and higher. Actually, this is actually standing on a bit of elevated ground. right? Elevated ground. So the house gets more privacy. So when people walk past here towards this part, you don't even need a privacy screen, right? There's a sufficient so-called shelter basically from, I think, from sight, so to speak. Towards the end here, this is where a lot of residents actually use this space because behind here, if you start to look at around, okay, this road actually leads you to, if you take a look at the map now, it leads you to Cornerstone Grove. It's actually a shortcut. A lot of people think to go to this Long Chuan MRT, you need to walk by the whole white road. That means go one big round and then go towards that. But
So
here,
you can actually cut through
yeah,
from here.
cut through.
Yeah.
It goes through Cornerstone Grove and it goes through Cardi Grove. I think one of the more popular, very familiar roads within Serangoon Gardens by the residents. Right? From there here to there is how long?
About 8 to 10 minutes walk to the main bus, main road whereby you get the bus stops
and then
maybe another 3 minutes.
3 to 5 more minutes, and then you can reach the MRT station. You can see here, this is the video that we took, which is about the actual walking distance from we walk from this house all the way to the MRT station. All right. So if you have children or you're working adult, you don't drive. Besides the bus stops that we mentioned, the 8 bus stops, I think the proximity to the MRT station, right, is something that I think the residents here will enjoy.
Yes.
Yeah. So now we're standing on this path. Let's not also forget this environment. This is quite nice. You notice this is how nice, right? I think in many landed estates, not just in Serangoon Gardens, getting a view like this, getting this kind of a gap, right, having this kind of a frontage, so the kind of space at the back is quite rare. So we have a walk path here of almost more than 3 meters, and if you start to turn around and take a look at the house, we enjoy this at the back of the house as well.
And no doubt this is public, accessible wise, but you still get the very quiet, serene, tranquil surroundings.
Yeah, exactly. So the wind actually doesn't just come from the front, from the side, but also from the back. Also from the back.
So this house definitely will have the cross ventilation apart from the natural ventilation, natural lightings that we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, that's right. So cleverly put, I think Wei Ting and the team has put together the 99 reasons, or to call this the 99 wonders. Right?
It's not ending yet.
Yeah, it's not ending yet. Already all these amenities take about 30 plus. You all are quite smart, but it's true. But this, I think, really relevant conveniences and benefits. I think the residents or the new owner will get to enjoy.
As a parent myself, I would know what are the buyers' concerns as well. Be it schools are very important, I'm sure.
Yeah. So, how many schools are there nearby?
Okay, so be it
preschool?
I'll start with the
youngest.
So 15 childcare facilities all within the 1 kilometer vicinity. 15, 1-5. Primary schools, next will be 2 primary schools within 1 kilometer, as well as 1 secondary school.
So all this you can see from the screen on this side, they are all together. So whether your children are young, all the way to secondary school, and this we are all talking about 1 kilometer. Of course, that gives you this priority entry. But besides that, I think beyond the 1 to 2 kilometers, there are a lot more schools around here, right? Your Catholic High, Raffles, you go to Mary Stella. All these are all the famous and popular schools.
Because earlier we mentioned that the buses can actually bring you to
many of these places.
Bishan, Serangoon, these are the areas where the schools are.
No wonder, pardon the pun, right, that you start to understand why District 19 or Serangoon Gardens, right, is consistently the #1 most popular landed estate in terms of transactions, in a sense.
Correct.
So now that we've covered, I think, the immediate surroundings, let's now take a look at the first floor, all right, to see what's beyond the gates and to see what does the 5,200 square feet of built-up area across this very huge plot of land entails. And with this, we will have Vico joining us. All right, now let's take a look at level 1.
Welcome to the interior of the house. Now we take a look at the car porch.
Yeah, can you see how big the car porch is, right? So with a 10 meters frontage, which is 2 meters wider than usual semi-D, I think the difference is very, very obvious. So in fact here, despite I think what you can see here with the pool and jacuzzi here, actually you can still park 2 cars. You look at the photos here, if the shoe cabinets are away. But what's important when you first come in, you feel actually it's wider than 10 meters.
Yes, definitely.
Correct? Because we are not close to the neighbor. Like what we said, because of the walkway there, it creates a separator, creates a additional distance here. So I think that really helps to give, and you can see from the view from this side, we are not facing any car porch. And even at the car porch area here, we can see all the way to the park. I think there's something that's quite unique. Imagine after you come back from work, open the door, and that's what you see. They're really very open and spacious.
So
Yeah.
another good thing I like that you see is sheltered. So when you come back from home, imagine a heavy downpour, you park your car, you are sheltered.
Fully sheltered.
Yeah,
huh?
fully sheltered, correct.
I like
And-
neighbor also sheltered as well. So if there's rain, whatever, it really won't come
Yes,
in. Huh? In a
that's right.
sense. The tiles are all nicely done. You can see there's space for your shoe cabinets on the side. And you notice here there's a lot of this concrete structure here. Very comfortable, right? Whether you're wearing your shoes, etc. Later I will show you, demonstrate what this part actually leads to. I think now what is obvious here, you can start to see the pool. I think this is Vico's favorite part.
Yeah.
How often do you see a semi-D with a pool? Yes, for some, but this pool is a bit unique.
Yeah,
right? In what sense?
correct. And I like that you see, sometimes when you have pool, right, you actually don't get to have garden. So you have a best of both worlds.
Yeah.
The little garden over there, then you see you have a classic
There's more garden
spiral
space at the back as well.
staircase. Yeah.
So here, this pool is very unique because there is also a jacuzzi. Can you see on this side? All right, this is almost like a 8-seater jacuzzi. There's actually a separator between the pool and the jacuzzi, so it's integrated. So in terms of your maintenance, it's actually cheaper, right, in a sense, but actually creates a separator as well. So I think very rare do you find, a house that
Integrated.
comes with integrated, and also they have a jacuzzi inside. That is not too much of a hassle to maintain.
Yes,
yeah?
that's right.
So-
So over here, I will show you this little place that I love. We have a garden, and you see it's with a spiral staircase that brings you up to level 2. We'll show you level 2 later.
Yeah. From
And
here, you
over
can
here,
also see the length, right?
The length is about 12 meters pool. Then over here, you have a little walkway over where it's it's a unique thing that certain pools don't have a walkway. At least over here, you can walk and admire the swimming pool.
Well, how far can you see from there, Vico? Can you see very far?
Yes,
the
I can
views
see
there,
until
right?
the backyard.
Yeah, exactly, right? The entire width. And you start to see later that the plot actually expands. Later we explain to you. Now,
Yeah, it's a
remember the little walkway that she mentioned? Okay, this is where it is. And I find this really unique. Okay, completely safe. I think you can step on this while waiting to step inside. Or for those who don't want to jump into the pool, you have your guests, your kids who are inside. I think the adults can still sit by the side and oversee them as well.
Yep.
Now, what is unique here is this wraps around not just, I think, the car porch, but you can see here, it actually goes around, right, on this side. Okay, camera can't see now, but you can see there's a 30 cm slab on the side because this pool is actually wider than usual, right? It's about 2.4 meters at the widest, so not your usual 2 meters. So a lot of pools, what we have is you can't really walk by the side. You have to go all the way to the back to access the pool. Here, you can actually walk past here. I think that's something that I think is quite ingenious about this and functional about this design. All these little steps, storage space, again, helps to make this place a lot more utilitarian. Even though it's just so-called a car porch. So this car porch come alive.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you
it,
can
yeah.
like different users for the car porch, and not just like for you to park car and you don't get to use the space. So
Yeah.
you get to park the car, then you can sit over here and
Yes.
watch your children playing at
Yes,
the pool.
exactly. We're saying now this is bright afternoon, 2+ p.m. The sun out there is really hot. You can see this is fully sheltered. Besides the shelter and the heat, is actually you get the wind. If your camera starts to look around, all the trees are moving. Can you see?
Yes.
All the trees are moving here because this is really quite an open estate. So this allows a lot of natural wind to actually come inside. Now, do you want to see whether the wind goes into the house? All right, let's take a look. All right.
Let's take a look inside.
So you have a very broad two-door
Walk in, walkway.
main door. All right. Once you come in,
See how gorgeous this space is, how spacious it is. Imagine looking at the furniture over here is more than 10 seaters here,
Yeah.
and you still have space for you to put little stools over here.
yeah. This kind of depth, this kind of width, I think is not rare. I think not just in Semi-Ds. Actually, when we first come in, I remember we thought this was like a bungalow.
Bungalow, yeah.
It's bigger than a lot of the detached houses. Because like we said, the plot width from 10 meters, it starts to expand,
Yeah.
right? After that, towards the end, it's actually 12 meters. So you can start to see, like for example, the back part later will show you, it starts to become wider. So it helps to give it's not an illusion. This is really a practical, so-called
Usage
physical
of the
benefit.
space.
Yeah, really, really broad. You can see. Let me show you around some of the practical storage or furniture items they've done. Actually, everything is free moving, so to speak, right? Besides the TV console there. Beautifully done up panels. You can see it's very neat. You can put, I think this is a 120-inch, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, a very big TV on that side. So very big space in the front as well, so you don't feel that there's a clutter before you come in. It's like this is like a little entranceway, which I think is very, very grand. But what I do like is that the owners have done, can you see all this very practical space here? Okay, so the owner likes to host a lot. If you also do like to host a
Yes.
lot, I think this is perfect because
Perfect.
besides the 10-seater and the additional seats there, all this I think can fit in another what, maybe 20 people,
Yeah,
right, to
correct.
sit around. Not forgetting there are also storage under some of these panels as well, right? So this skirts around, you can see the light coming through, okay? And remember just now I was skirting by the side of it. This is where it will look like, okay? So if I were to stand out here, this you can actually reach, and I walk to the left and right side of the pool and towards the end as well, without having to go one round to the back to access the pool. Okay, so you can enter the pool basically at almost any point. All right.
So-
Blinds have been installed as well.
Yeah.
So if you want something more private, like for example at night, or you want some shade, this can be done. You just pull down, and then you can see the whole ambience of the place starts to change in a sense. Yeah.
So besides that area, over here we also have sliding door that's functional. So during daytime, you can open it and have the wind ventilation of this facing.
Correct.
And yet you still enjoy the pool view, you know, the sound of water picture.
So this is also part of the whole design concept, which is to have integration of all the spaces, which is really big, like we said, right? More than 3,000, sorry, almost 3,000 square feet, like what we said.
Yeah.
So having all these spaces open, integrated, it helps to make the place even more functional and useful, right? As we step on, I don't know if you realize this is very good quality marble, and Vico, there's something that you have noticed,
Yes,
right?
correct. This marble, I think we can only see like in 5-star hotel. And I even see a fossil over here.
Yeah, in fact, these are imported marble, all right, imported marble that the owner has chosen to actually retain. And the fossil marks, I think these are something that's quite rare. Because right now, a lot are actually those kind of synthetic
Man-made,
marble,
yes.
man-made, etc. So this is really as real as it gets. And it reminds me of really those 5-star hotels,
Yes,
right? The
correct,
lobby,
the entrance, the
etc.
lobby.
Yeah. So this is just the living room, very squarish. And the expansiveness of that actually goes towards the
The
dining
area.
as well, all right?
So you see over here, we even can put a piano. Oh, imagine if you move it away, you can even expand even bigger living area, then integrated with this 8-seater dining area.
10-seater.
Yeah,
I think
10-seater,
this
I
is
don't
good
think it's
for
an issue.
families who like to do, round table dining. I think something that a lot of landed owners like. So you have the space. This is also, if you cordon this off, actually this is very squarish as well. But what is unique here is what is above
Yes,
Vico.
we have heard
You can
before
take a look.
we have heard before double volume ceiling. Over here is like triple of a 7.1 meter. You can take a look up there.
This is very, very rare in any landed house, right? Whether you're freehold, 999, etc. So what I do like is there's also this little balcony that comes out as well. I think later Sean and Susie will share with you what's up there. But even from here, it gives you this a very nice. It's cozy, but yet has this very grand feel, to it. And this space also allows you to actually install a lift in future as well, if you want. A lot of houses now don't come with any provision for lift. You have to spend quite a lot to, let's say, redo the staircase. A space like this allows you to, with slight modification, allows you to do a 2-story, 3-story lift quite easily. Okay. Now the house doesn't just end here. This part, I think this is also because
Yeah, and one of my
preferred
favorite
part.
area is that you have this living area and also this patio area. And this patio area actually links you to the pool. So it's like the whole house you feel that is connected. With all this ventilation, natural lighting, and over here, like what I said, 12-meter pool. Take a look. Then behind we have still even more things for you to show you.
You also have shower facilities, right?
Oh,
So
yeah,
you can just
correct.
shower here without having to go in.
Yes,
How
over
about
here-
privacy, Vico? Were
Privacy
you there to
actually-
shower here?
Yeah. Okay. Over here, you see, we actually have plants here to have privacy, to help us to have privacy.
Screening, yeah.
Screening, all that.
Correct.
And over that side, also we have the privacy screening.
Actually, just now when we're walking past, we can see,
Yeah,
we
correct.
didn't know beyond the walls actually is such a lively
Yes.
and so-called built-up place, so to speak, in a sense from there. So over here, this is also sheltered. You notice this patio is really designed for really quiet enjoyment, right? There's also fan, shelter. The same thing that you see, the views, the greenery, you get to feel it a lot, I think, on the outdoor side. Of course, you have all your big floor-to-ceiling windows already, all right? So you notice, like what Vico said, this house is meant to really come alive and be very integrated. Besides this patio, just behind me, you can see this beautiful lawn. This was converted by the owner, right? This used to be a slab. You can, of course, choose to plant trees here, but this was an excellent place to enhance your gatherings further if you want to bring the gatherings outdoors. So you can see that even the sinks and all this storage shelves have been done. So it's perfect for your barbecue outings. You want to do a buffet, you want to do caterings. Again, the same concrete slabs that you saw. All right. So it brings all the way. I like the fact that it's actually very big, much wider than usual, and it's very neat, all right? It doesn't intimidate you in terms of, oh, I have a big garden, you don't know what to do with it, all right? So you see the sun now coming up, and again, I always look at the trees. Remember, this house, look at the trees. The trees are moving. I hope, I think in front of the screen here on the TV or phone that you are now, we're actually feeling quite a lot of breeze. The advantages that Wei Ting and I shared earlier, the fact that we are corner plot, the fact that we are elevated. You notice now we are much higher, right, compared to the house at the back. You can see pretty far, right, much further away than what it is. So this allows you, later we'll show you to the back from the rear yard, and you'll be surprised to see how big the rear yard is. Okay, so now let's explore further. Oh no, you can see she's so comfortable already. This house just makes you feel like want to sit down at every spot.
I'm like having a holiday in my house. So it's like a very resort-like, and you have like lifestyles. You can just sit here, chill, and yet you have the privacy over here.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so but I think it's time to work.
Yes,
we have to continue to
Okay,
show the house.
sorry.
You know?
It doesn't end here. Let's go in.
Right. So we talk about the rooms. I think it's inviting, very tempting for us to sit down, but
Yes.
let's show you the rest of the house first. I think that time you don't want to sit down. I mean, you want to just lie down and take a nap, all right?
Yeah.
In a while we'll show you. But remember we told you this house, all right, has 6+1 rooms, and all the rooms are en suite. So for those families who have elderly folk or you entertain a lot, like this current family, actually there's quite a small size family.
Yeah.
So you start to see this, one of the reasons why the entire house is very well kept, right? Very well designed. You can see all these pieces of carefully curated, nice designer pieces, but you can also bring in your own to adorn the entire design to create a different space. But the important thing is it means that the condition is very well kept.
Yes, very well kept.
Very well kept.
And so before we go to the room, I'll show you the storage area here.
Yes, yeah.
Because just now we're all talking about the space here. So some might ask, where's the storage? We
Yes.
actually make full use of the space under the staircase
Yes.
to have a storage over here.
Yes.
So you can go up until that area.
This actually house, if you look at the 99 list, right, that the team has drawn out, actually besides this, we still have two, which is a 6+2. So depending on your demand or your need to have 1 or 2 helpers, actually at the back there's still
Yes,
2 more storage rooms, sorry, or 2 more helpers room if you want, all right? So from this line onwards, that's where I think the rooms start. And the first one, like you mentioned earlier, if you're elderly folk or you want to entertain guests, this is a very nice grannish room.
Very well maintained because like we say, the family is small, so all this is underutilized. Everything is still very good condition. Like
Yes.
over here, we have a 4-panel wardrobe. And all ready for you to move in condition.
Yes.
And the bed, you see the floorings, and the ceiling height is very high with windows over here bringing the natural lights in, and also when you open, definitely like what we mentioned, look outside, the trees is moving. Yeah, so with
Again.
ventilation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you also notice, this one has a high ceiling height, right? So the entire first floor, including this room, all right, this is about 3 meters high. I like small touches and practical touches, like they have done a fan as well,
Yes.
right? Besides
And
that, so you don't need to switch on the aircon. And this is room, by the way, because you can see now we are spreading apart. It's actually a very big
Very
room,
rich.
bigger than a lot of master bedrooms, especially if you're upgrading from, let's say, a condo, for example. Even for landed, this is considered quite big because it's very regular shape. A regular shape. I think this together with the bathroom, the total adult space is more than 180 square feet. All right, we have a square queen size bed now.
Then you still have a like TV console
TV
here.
console,
you can have
bookshelf, study.
Yeah, study
This can
area.
be a king size bed easily. All right, and also the bathroom. I think because
Yeah.
you're better,
And
more particular the bathrooms.
yeah.
Why don't you show
so
the bathroom?
before I say about bathroom, you see like this area, you can also have a pantry. You can put your fridge or what, even though the kitchen is just outside. So this whole room is self-sufficed. Then moving on here, we have this attached bathroom. It's a very good size, and you see everything is very well renovated. And we have take a look over here. Because for a bathroom, I think it's very important to have a window for ventilation, so to keep the moisture away. And you have privacy because of what we mentioned outside just now. Okay, let's move on to outside.
Comfortable, right?
Yes,
the
very
bathroom.
comfortable size.
I like the
self-sufficed.
colors. It's very neutral, so it's
Yes.
not too feminine, not too masculine. So it's
Very
kind of
minimalist.
yeah, exactly. Very timeless design. Which this is just the first room. When you get to see the rest of the rooms, you get the same view as well,
Yeah.
which we got, which is very modern, but yet it has a classic touch to it and very timeless, so to speak. You know, and easy for I think anyone to come here and take over as it is without minimal renovation. I think this is one of the unique points about this house.
If you realize the fan, there's a contrasting color. It's a black color, so you know, like in this neutral color, then you still have like some contrast.
Exactly. All right, so now let's go to the back where we start to show you not one, but actually two kitchens. Right, so this is the kitchen, actually one of the two kitchens, right? You can see here, same thing. I think the design team is very consistent with what's outside, except that it looks a lot more modern. I think you can see the color palette using very white colors, basically the cabinets, and then you have the black, right, black and white with the stainless steel appliances. I think it gives a lot more modern touch, in that sense. So you can see here with the high ceiling, even with the cabinets, they are not even reaching all the way to the top, but they are all made to measure at this point in time. So I like the fact that there's a lot of storage. It's now kept very clutter-free because there are a lot of storage, right? All these are huge shelves on this side. There are modern so-called storage system here as well, all pull-out drawers. And this is my favorite, the fact that not only do you have these two huge super-sized fridge, right? You actually have a space for another wine fridge. This used to be a wine fridge. So owners, I think there's a lot of landed owners out there who always have complaints about space for a fridge. You know, now you can actually not put two, but three fridges all together at one go.
If not, you can change it into a wine
cellar. Yeah, correct.
And so over here, we move over here, the huge space of countertop. You can put, do your mise en place over here and do your cooking over here. And you see it's a very modern touch of like brand. Then after that, we also have like storage space over here with drawers.
These are all drawer system as well. You can see from this side, all drawer system. So very modern. And this island, unlike many islands, sometimes there's just a countertop. This is a fully functional island top, right? So where you don't have to turn around to cook, everything is actually in front of you.
Here.
You feel, I don't know, if you cook, I think I feel a bit more motivated to prepare the food here and cook. With all your storage options at the back. I think this is a very, very clever design.
So everything integrated, you have oven, microwave and storages. Over here also a modern storage over here.
There's also a dishwasher, yes?
Dishwasher, yes.
Also space for dishwasher as well.
So plenty of space for you.
Correct.
Over
here also,
this
could be a coffee machine.
You have a rice cooker, even more like all these anti-slam drawers. Here, over here, we have a double sink for you. And
so this kitchen, I think, is very clear. I think most people find it's very, very big, open and spacious enough.
With windows, you have ventilation when you do all the cooking, heavy cooking.
I actually like this gap. There's actually a gap. It's not just a wall. So this allows the wind from the back. In a while, we will show you. All right. So there's more storage here. This is like a little utility area before you actually head towards the backyard. Like we said, this is the blend size is quite big. So remember, we said just now, it's not one maid's room, but two maid's room. Yeah, so if you have two helpers, and a lot of landed owners now are seeking for not just one, they're increasingly two, and you don't want to put them together, right? Actually, this is a very, very unique option where we have now on the left, there's one helper's room, right, there's another helper's room.
Then so over here you see we have a toilet over here. If you need, you can actually like fence up this area. Then you can make it into like an ensuite helper room.
Like a studio, for the.
And the space where you can see is all very huge. You can put like a bed for them, or even like a storage bed. And one thing you notice is not just one window over here, because there are some helper room they don't even have windows. So over here we have one window over here and the other one over here. And you realize there's an aircon installed for this helper room also. Okay, then we take a look outside.
Yeah, the other side. So this owner now, this family only has one helper. If you want a second one, like we said, there's another one. Just probably, I don't know what you saw, the difference in the Bico side and the extra space above. You can actually, this is more than 3 meters high, all right, almost 3.2 meters. So you can take a peep inside. Same, there's windows. Now it's used as a storage. So you can have one helper's room, one dedicated storage besides the one that we just now showed under the staircase. So a lot of so-called storage space. Yeah. Even this area here, frankly, some may say if I use a second helper's room, you may not have enough space. But then this little corner is where I think you can convert this into a storeroom if you want to. If not, again, later outside, there's still more space. So space, you notice we keep saying, is really abundant here, right? So again, this is what, 379 square feet. It's very evident once you come out here. Can you feel the breeze again, right? So
Over here, you see, we can actually do like outdoor cooking
Correct.
on the left side.
This is your wet kitchen.
Yeah, then you have a washing area over here. Plenty of space for you to plan for your multi-generational family because with space, you don't need to worry, you don't have space to put things, you don't have space for storage, you don't have space for a helper room, don't have space for a granny room. Plenty of place for
Instead
you.
of your 2 meters setback, which a lot of new houses, that's where some of the older houses, just like you say, the older condos, older HDB, they have a lot more, right? So you can see here, this is almost 4 meters. With this, like what Vico said, there's a lot more space for you to do what you want. Instead of, you are crammed to just the 2 meters, it becomes very narrow, all right? All these spaces are very functional because they have done all the shelters, right? All the shelters. The shelter has been extended towards the back as well. Like we said earlier, there's no neighbor. Let's come and take a closer look.
So we say about
what it
space,
means.
you see they even put a like dining table over here. You can be an outdoor alfresco area for you. You just put some coffee table, outdoor deck. Then you are also linked to the side yard.
And this being the corner unit, now we are the corner of the corner. Can you see this view now? Yeah, the breeze, the view here. We are elevated. Remember, this is on the elevated ground. So towards the end, actually, the gap towards the ground here is actually a lot lower. So we have a very good comfort. In fact, without all these screens, you won't be able to see people walking past. So what we do enjoy, like the front, like the side, now is very evident. You can see the clear blue sky. You can see also the facade later, as you start to see here. The whole house becomes a lot more majestic and more obvious in terms of the height, right, of this entire house. I was there earlier when Vico was sipping her afternoon tea or so. You can see this is now a lot more evident, very broad. Okay.
More than, I believe it's more than 2 meters.
Yeah, there's more than almost 3 meters. And then you can do your buffet, you can do your gatherings here. The barbecue pit is really
Very
there.
ideal for gathering, hosting your friends.
And because just now you mentioned garden, right? This can also be converted to garden. Can be converted to a pond if you want to. Ultimately, this stretch of space is very, very so-called functional, right? And very pleasing as well, the way they have done this. Make it very minimal, easy to maintain.
Very minimalist, easy to accept, the renovation work, ready to move in, well maintained. Or I say everything is accepted and beneficial for those who are moving in.
Yeah. So this gap, can you see from the patio, easily brings you back into the kitchen, all right? And then that's where the stairwell is and brings you to the rest of the second and third floor, which has not 4 or 3 or 4, but actually 5 more bedrooms which are en suite, to which we'll pass on to Susie and Sean to show us more.
If you enjoyed level 1, the kind of space planning, an open floor plan, definitely level 2 is going to blow your mind, all right? So first and foremost, where we're standing, this is actually at the common area on level 2. What is particularly unique about this spot is the way they've designed and incorporated still the original elements, but with their own taste. So right from where we're standing is probably my favorite spot, right? There's cascading from level 3 all the way to where we're standing level 2, with some extensions being done so that it kind of perches overlooking the dining area. All right, earlier Willie also mentioned, all right, this is a natural, like an air well. So provisions for lift and everything, this is a perfect spot, all right, without having to rearrange the rooms itself. Okay, I think Susie would agree that this area is very comfortable. It's not the typical, the very narrow passageway. Whereas here you can see there's still a sufficient space for a table, for common activities and so on and so forth. But what's more interesting really is how the same elements of the house from level 1 is carried through to level 2. So some of the design elements like the aircon, the cassette system, having this sharp contrast, all this is all in line with the owner's scope of design. Okay, what is very interesting as well, I think level 1 you may have seen, this small little touches from the owners, all right? Every edge is rounded, right? If you notice from both arches, all these are all rounded through and through. So this gives a very ergonomic sense in terms of how they have designed the chosen for the theme of the house. Okay, towards the back, so originally most of the houses, master bedrooms, right, will usually be situated at the back. So here we have 2, both are en suites. Right, let's take you to the first room towards my left.
Shall we?
Okay, would you look at that? Okay, so again, with a land size being so wide, ultimately it translates a lot into the room sizes. Definitely, you can see it more towards in level 2 onwards. So a lot of clever use of space. So towards my left, this will be ample storage. What I really like is all these small pigeonholes. There's 3 portions. I think Susie will appreciate that all this will be good to store all your accessories, right?
Yeah. Isn't it nice?
Yeah, plus all these extra things definitely will be goes a great way in terms of prioritizing space and storage, right? And what we really like, I think Susie will showcase to you, what's really unique from level 2, it accentuates the fact that we are very far apart.
Yeah. You can see that this is a very breezy level 2, as what Willie and
the colleagues have
Nico
mentioned, yes.
has talked
So this
about.
is very uncommon, in fact. All right, usually it's just side to side. You get a lot of dead spaces. But here, even when opening up all the windows, you see the cross ventilation for this house. It's superior, right? Not only the sides and the back as well. Okay. So more about this room itself. Again, you can see the ceiling heights are much higher. I think the owners really appreciate a lot of this layering of stuff. So you can see also for this room, they have the cove lighting. All right, all this is to tune, the mood of the place. So the way they've spaced out, in fact. So this is a king size bed. Yeah. Usually we have probably like at max 2 to 3 feet of space between the base of the bed to the wall. But here we have an impressive almost 2 meters. All right. So you can really incorporate a lot of elements, seating arrangements, so on and so forth, just in this room itself. All right. So wardrobe space as well over here, and this portion is probably quite interesting. They do have a little small spot. So I don't know about Susie, do you envision this like a makeup corner, or what would you do with this space?
This is just right size for makeup corner for the missus. Yeah, and we have a very spacious bathroom as well.
Yeah, so bathroom aside, all rooms are naturally ventilated. If you notice, the way they position it, the toilet is right to the end. You have all these are just all natural ventilation, natural lighting. All right. So how do you find about this room? Is it big?
Yep.
So wait till you see the other room that we have just adjacent to us. Okay. So this room, ultimately, the width is almost close to 4 meters. All right. The length is something that's really impressive. So currently, the state is like a more open floor plan. Everything is one open area. Of course, if you need more wardrobe space, a lot of creative ways for you to kind of partition up the room for your wardrobe. But that being said, these owners, being a small family, show you something that they have done with the other room. So I think, Susie, this will be a dream come true, right?
Yeah. Coming to this side of the room, you can see that it's actually
they repurposed this entire thing into a really not walk-in wardrobe, but a walk-in room. Okay, I think most ladies will be very appreciative of this, some men as well. Okay, so behind us, actually, there's still some wardrobe space. This will be the default. All this, again, is space maximizing, right? So you can just envision this. Both rooms are similar sized, right, in terms of the length as well. But what they've done in this space, similar tones throughout the room itself, but the space itself, right, all these are actually movable. So ultimately, having such a big room, in fact, these 2 rooms combined can already be 2 like junior masters, right, or potentially even 1 very big master bedroom, okay? So similarly, both are symmetrical. Towards the rear, what we really like is, again, the distance apart from the nearest home towards the back. And likewise, the toilet. Okay, very bright, very airy. Ultimately, also the ceiling heights for the whole room is very big. Okay, how do you feel about this room? Fantastic, yeah?
Yep.
So all this will be multi-purpose. I would say that for larger families, in fact, more than 5 to 6, each of them having multi-generational, this will be comfortable enough, both rooms each for a couple, all right? And that's only the rear half of this level, all right? Let us take you to the front of level 2. So if you think that the rooms that you've seen is very big, wait till you see what's installed in front, all right?
Okay, welcome to the master room.
Okay, so this room itself situated at the front. The owners, because it's a smaller family, what they've done is really to separate the space into multiple, very usable spaces. First and foremost, this is the largest toilet in the room, for this house, sorry. So featuring a dual his and her sink, but it's much wider than the other 2 toilets that you've seen. Okay, anyway, the furnishings, everything, they go for more earthy tone for this room. All right, so this is, again, naturally ventilated. What I really like is this walk-in wardrobe area. All right, so here houses a few of our important guests for this episode. All right, I think you will probably be seeing some of them nearby running around later. So the owners have actually repurposed this room for their prize cats. All right, so imagine the kind of space walking outwards from something that is narrow. What we really like is how it opens up to such a big space. Okay, so this room currently is being used as an entertainment room.
Yeah.
Yep. Speaking of our guests, so that's one. Okay, so they have the luxury of occupying the largest room of this house. So the way they have actually done up the space, okay, they have a nice sitting area arrangement here. And right in front of me, this is a very nice entertainment sofa area and another piano. So in line with the owner's interests, and hobbies. So all this room is really a room of sorts. Of course, if you plan to actually reinstate this as the master bedroom, right? Again, it's more than ample space. This is considerably both rooms at the rear combining into one, right? Not to mention, this is actually fronting the front of the house, and we have still another part. So this is really a room with many, many surprises. Okay, coming out to the front. So most houses in the past, a lot of these areas were just a decking area. All right, this one, the owners have actually decked out entirely, added on some awnings to kind of repurpose this space to be kind of like for a function. All right, so this is still a very impressive, about 5 meters in terms of the length. So earlier, the main thing that I think really they all were mentioning, there was a spiral staircase right behind me. So this leads straight away upwards to this balcony area. All right. And I think this is also something that contributes a lot to the cross ventilation. The fact that the road is actually off center of the house, all this unblocked front, sides and rear definitely adds on, to the positioning of this house. Yeah. What's your favorite, Susie, about this part? What would you do?
This is a nice outdoor space for couples or even for family members together.
I think also what's really very clear is that because you're also not directly, fronting another house, the kind of privacy, and you can see where we're standing, the kind of wind that's throughout, even for level 1, level 2 is definitely even more pronounced. Yep. So if you like what you're seeing, level 1, level 2, I think what's in stock for level 3 will also be very, very exciting, all right? So coming back to this area. So again, you can see our dearest guest, all right? So imagine if you can fit a piano here, imagine what you can do with a king-size bed, you can have another living, sitting arrangement, yet you still have open space enough for, his and her study room, or you can even think of actually partitioning out this space to become like a small home office, in fact. So definitely the opportunities and the possibilities are almost limitless, okay? All these are definitely possible only because this house is wider than typical, all right? And the land size is also, for semi-D, in Serangoon Gardens, is considerably one of the larger lands already, okay? So let's move on to back where we came from. So you can really see how the design elements, what they've done to the space, really extends through and through, level 1, level 2, and through the front rooms towards the back, right? So with this, let's showcase to you the last level, level 3 of the house.
We are at the third floor right now. As you can see from here, this is actually a very bright attic. Okay, we have 2 rooms on left and right.
Yeah, so usually for attics, most were associated with being dark, gloomy and so on and so forth. But this house, with the natural sky lighting itself, brings in ample of natural lighting, all right? So this not only illuminates this level, but the way that they've configured the staircase, with the glass railings, and also this overhang, this is the part that we were mentioning about, the cascading effect, right? So all this allows a lot of natural light, even from this level, to permeate all the way to level 1. Okay, I think my favorite part here is really this sky bridge area again. So similar to level 2, at least it's a much wider, much more functional space, it kind of extends the feel of the space itself. Again, it forms like a natural partition between the front and the rear room. All right, let Susie show you more for the rooms at the back.
This is actually the fifth room. As you can see, this is actually one of the room that you can actually convert it into a study room, or if not, a walk-in wardrobe. Coming in from here, we actually have a very spacious bedroom.
Yeah, so this room actually for the current owners, they have, because there's a lot of rooms in this house, right? This being the fifth room itself, you can see actually all the room sizes are fairly large, all right? So for households with smaller families, this will be an ideal, like an auxiliary room, right? So the owners, what they've done for this space is to really convert it into a gym room. I think it's a lot of men's dream to have your own private room for your gym and everything, all right? So Susie, what do you like about this room in particular?
This room is actually very bright. As you can see, and it's also very breezy, and we are actually on the highest point over here.
Yeah, so I think you can see the theme running through from level 1 all the way to this level. It's the positioning of this house, in fact, in relation to where it is situated in Serangoon Gardens, and more importantly, the micro positioning, all right? So not only the lanes at the side, having a lot of gap between the neighbors, this part, the front room, will show you something that is very, very unique to this house in terms of the views, all right? So again, for families, if you're in the market to look for more rooms and so on and so forth, this room itself can easily be reconverted into a very nice ensuite bedroom, all right? It's still wide enough to fit in a queen size bed, even a storage area in front can convert it. You still have a study desk area. But what's more interesting is, I think Susie will explain the condition of the house.
As you can come into this bathroom, okay, it's very spacious, and it's also very well maintained. And we also have a skylight over here as well.
Okay, so this is only one of the 2 rooms on this level. So one stark difference, I think, for this room itself is because they do have this walk-in wardrobe area, as Susie mentioned, being in front of the room entrance, all right? Obviously, you can actually consider the fact that you can actually pull front the door itself to actually start from here. So you have a natural walk-in wardrobe opening up to a much larger space inside, right? So now as we proceed to the front of the room, this is probably, I think, both of our favorite room for this level, yeah? So this will be what we just mentioned about having the door right here. The only difference, both are symmetrical, by the way. So the only thing is the room starts from here, and it still opens up to a little storage space, or can be repurposed into a walk-in wardrobe. Personally, if you don't have a lot of family members to utilize all the rooms, this can be like a collector's, spot, or for storeroom as well. Okay, so moving in, this is the owner's. You can clearly see why this is probably the owner's favorite spot of the house. Okay, so here again the same size, fairly wide. Okay, and what's really interesting, as Susie will point out to you, is the positioning of this house at the front of this room. Okay, so usually side by side will be blocked by most of our neighbors, right? So in fact from here we can see all the way through towards the end of this lane, right? Something that not many houses are able to enjoy. So Susie, what would you do to this room if, let's say, you don't need it as a bedroom? What would you think you can fit into this?
You can use this as a study room, or you can always use this as a guest room as well. Yeah, this one is almost the same size as the one that you saw on the fifth bedroom.
So indeed, so this one being a very comfortable guest room. Personally, I would create this into my home office. Right, I think similar to the owners, why they choose to position themselves here is because of this kind of influence, right, from the environment, allowing a lot of natural light, firstly, to focus. Secondly, an unobstructed view, which many houses seem to lack nowadays. Okay, and lastly, for the toilet over here. So this is also a pretty interesting one. It's fairly long as well. So again, in line with all the renovations being done just under 2 years, this house is really in an immaculate condition, right? So the toilet space is also efficient. So in fact, a lot of countertop space, right? Most of the newer houses, definitely a toilet will probably be around 3/4 the size without a lot of this type of natural ventilation or lighting itself. Okay, so that's all for level 3. All right, now we'll head on down to come to the end of the house tour. We'll head on down to join Willie and our colleagues Vico and waiting for more details.
Thank you, Sean and Susie. After this comprehensive house tour, we hope you viewers are now as convinced as us, right, by the 99 qualities of this very beautiful and charming semi-detached Serangoon Gardens, to which we coined the house with 99 wonders. Now, among the many qualities, which is your favorite so far?
I like the fully enormous built-up space, which you can't even find in a lot of freehold and triple nine houses.
I like the tasteful interior design, modern yet classy. So it's actually kept in such a well-kept condition that the new owners can actually move in fuss-free, cost-free.
I like the various luxurious and unique touches like the pool, jacuzzi, connecting spiral staircase, many of which makes this house very resort-like and ideal for gatherings.
Yeah, I'm all about the value, right? So despite it being a 99 leasehold, at least it's priced so competitively, even against others 99 leasehold in this district or island-wide. So in fact, it's priced so competitively such that even homeowners who are actually looking out for freehold or 999 leasehold will be tempted to view this home.
That's right. So if you are tempted to view this house together with the family, feel free to give any one of us here a call. I'd be more than happy to show you around. Once again, my name is Willie.
I'm Susie.
I'm waiting.
I'm Vico.
I'm Sean.
See you at the next episode of Huttons Landed Divisions
Live Open House.